Hello, Team Green Gaming. Thanks for hanging out with us and being patient during our setup periods. We are ready to begin the next run. We have Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 New Game Plus, run by imgerdii. Take it away.
Your turn, Gertie.
So yeah, hi guys. Yeah, hi. Yeah, I'm playing Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 on the PC, New Game Plus. I have two fellow friends here for the commentary. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
So yeah, I'm mostly going to stay quiet because a game is a game, and
Full
those
focus
two,
mode.
yes, those two are going to tell you everything what you need to know about this game, and everything you don't need to know, but we're still going to tell you. And yeah, so if you guys have anything to say,
No, I'm ready. I think we're ready to start.
It's gaming time.
computer time. So, countdown, guys. Who feels like it? I give you guys the honor.
Sure. Alright. 7 part 2, 7 part 1, 6, 5, 4, 3, Quidditch World Cup, 2, 1, go.
It's a good way to confuse whoever is in charge of the timer.
Exactly.
I think that's successfully done. All right, let's kick it off.
The classic HP countdown.
Yeah, it's a good meme with all the games that exist in this series.
Yeah.
They have a weird order and a weird way to count them. Alright, but we're already in. Since we're playing New Game Plus, one of the main core features is that we can skip cutscenes. Usually there's a, 4-minute cutscene at the start of this,
Yep.
which you thankfully don't have to watch now.
It's also very good because this game has something amazing, aka cutscenes or RNG in cutscenes, so you can just randomly lose like a couple seconds in cutscenes for absolutely no reason. We have no idea why it happens, but it's good because in New Game Plus we can skip all of them. And another feature of New Game Plus is right at the start you already have all spells unlocked, and you can sprint because you actually unlock sprint in the first level for some reason.
Yeah, you go like really slow in any percent just to creep your way up there. It's pretty horrible. Like New Game Plus is for pretty much everyone considered the beta category of this game. Just like a lot more fast-paced, also obviously a lot shorter. And we get to see the first probably OP spell right now when he has to get rid of those 2 guards. A spell that you usually unlock like way later in the game.
Yeah, this spell is extremely OP, especially later when we're gonna be as Neville and the Death Eaters are super far down. It just locks onto them instantly. It's just so much easier.
Yeah, this game is essentially a magical version of like Call of Duty, or I guess not really. It's like a third-person shooter, but with magic. So a lot of the spells just kind of resemble weapons you would have in a game like that.
But yeah, normally in 90% we unlock the spells as we go through the story, but in this level we normally only have Stupefy in 80%, which is not fun. It's not a very powerful spell, and like after Gringotts, or after we unlock more spells, we pretty much like we still use it a little bit, but definitely not as much.
Yeah. You've seen imgerdii stop there a bit. He stopped sprinting for like a second or two. And that's for the trick he's about to do now. Once we hit the save location, you can actually save and quit. And that makes Hermione and Ron spawn closer to the door they're supposed to open, because you have to wait for the AI. And if you don't wait before, then this actually like hard locks you out of the game, and like you literally have to restart the game if you want to continue. So let's hope he got that correct.
Should be good.
Should be good.
Are they here? I think this cutscene actually doesn't play if they're not here, so it should be good.
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah.
Should be fine, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, she's here.
Yeah,
Yeah, and in 80% it's not a problem at all, because we slow down anyways because we don't have sprint, but since we have sprint instantly in this, then We don't even know why it soft locks. It shouldn't soft lock, but it just
This
does
game
for
is
no
weird.
reason. Yeah.
There's actually a good question in chat about the game language. I'm not entirely sure why he's playing in Spanish, but as far like, we don't
Just for the
really-
meme.
Yeah, English is usually what most people go for. He might have just not uninstalled that from when he did runs on stream or something.
Yeah. So, like, for a lot of the HP games, the language actually does matter, but this one, it does matter, but in a weird way. There is one dialogue in one level that is skippable. And if you missed a dialogue skip, it's faster in, or the dialogue essentially that you were supposed to skip but you didn't is faster in, I think, French by like 5 seconds. But you can skip that dialogue in any language, which makes playing any other language completely irrelevant. And other than that, the game just doesn't change at all.
Yeah, they just say the spells funnier, I guess.
Yeah. Desmayos.
Yeah, like the other Harry Potter games have quite some like unexpected languages that are fast. For some reason, it's mostly the Nordic languages for Harry Potter. A lot of Swedish and Norwegian being the fastest in the earlier games.
We have some really massive time save for some of the game, like Harry Potter 6 on Spanish saves 1:40 over English, which is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of the time it's Nordic languages for some reason.
Yeah, we'll see Gary go through Gringotts probably pretty much without issues, because this level is designed for just having the worst spell, and since it is New Game Plus, they don't really pose much of a challenge.
Yeah.
For the time being.
Trolled. Guy will just not show up for some reason.
Yeah, a lot of this game is just knowing where enemies spawn, because they always do spawn in the same spot and at the same time. But they can sometimes troll you and just like do stuff you didn't expect and go like a weird way and stuff. Like you'll see him, once Hermione starts opening the door, you'll see him go back to the entrance to the left, because he's gonna know there's gonna be 6 people spawning.
Yeah, thankfully those part, well, thankfully, but those part where we have to wait for Hermione, we don't actually have to like play as fast as possible. We just have to play fast enough, because when Hermione is gonna unlock the door, it's based on the timer. So as long as you don't go over that timer when you kill the Death Eaters, then you'll pretty much never lose time. And we actually have those sections quite a lot in the game.
Oh, yeah.
The next level is gonna have like 3 doors that we open, I think.
Hermione just forgot how to actually cast Alohomora.
Yep.
It's
Takes her a
horrible.
lot of time to remember.
Yeah, and every door again. Okay, this is the one section that can be a bit risky, because you have to get through without dying, and it's like a section where you don't have to defeat anyone, so you just kind of want to run to not lose time, but they can do quite a bit of damage, but you should be fine here.
Yeah, thankfully in New Game Plus we have Impedimenta, where
Yeah.
like it's usually this last group of guards that like can like potentially even kill you, but in New Game Plus it's really easy.
¿Se está quemando algo?
Yeah, there's not a lot of parts where we can just like run or like completely skip the encounters. Like it's super rare.
Yeah, and usually those are actually the parts where stuff can go very wrong.
Yeah.
The chance of death is quite high. Which in this game you don't really have like a health bar or anything, you just see the screen go more and more gray the more you get hit. So it's always kind of hard to tell as well how much you can even still tank.
Infest the fire here. Everyone died at least once to the fire.
Yeah, if you go too fast or too slow, if you don't have the timing, then it can happen quite quickly. But it's
We're gonna
usually
cast
quite
on one torch and it's pretty much done.
Yep. That's the first level.
Good.
Like this game does play along the movie pretty much, so everything that happens in the movie happens in this game, and a bit extra I guess, but most of it is based on that.
Oh yeah, for some reason in this level we unlock Apparition. We have everything unlocked in Gringotts except Apparition. They probably didn't want us to do too many broken stuff in Gringotts with Apparition, but we only unlock it here in New Game
¿Qué es
Plus.
ese ruido?
The apparition is actually surprisingly like not broken.
Yeah, we're gonna use it a decent amount. It actually saves a solid chunk of time throughout the entire run.
Yeah, cutting corners with it and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, right now it's just gonna be getting through Hogsmeade as quickly as possible.
As mentioned, a lot of segments where you just have to wait for the AI, which, as far as I know, is also a bit RNG. Like, sometimes they're slow, sometimes they're fast. Like, once they're at the gate, it doesn't matter anymore, but sometimes they take forever to run up to it.
Yeah, I don't exactly know what caused it. Yeah, a lot of this is really just remembering all the spawns and trying to kill them as quickly as possible.
Yeah, the early level don't have like too much. There's pretty cool strats in like mid game mostly.
Yeah.
There's kind of the warm up for that. Doing your best, defeating them as quickly as possible, and hoping that Hermione cooperates.
Mm-hmm. A lot of waiting for it to open the door.
Yeah, there's a good fun fact about the next area though, which is like the bane of every 100% runner. Because they made one collectible that you need New Game Plus for. It's in the house, essentially straight across, and you can't enter that on your first playthrough. That's the only one that you have to replay the game for in 100%.
Yeah, if we could somehow, it's like, yeah, right here, where those two
Yeah,
defeaters were.
Let's go.
Oh.
That's where it is. And you do need the apparition for that, and yeah, you don't have that in any percent. You don't have the small teleport.
And yeah, it's really weird that they made that a New Game Plus only collectible, because it's literally the only one in the game where you need apparition. And they really want you to use apparition, because like the entrance to that place where the collectible is, there's 3 barrels, but as soon as you apparate in, they just disappear. It's really annoying. But yeah, that would save a solid, like, I don't know, probably 8 minutes if we could find a way to get there early.
Yeah, the only good thing is that like you don't actually have to replay the entire game. There's like a level select, but you have to watch like the outro and you have to restart your game and whatnot.
We're gonna get on to second 7 quid in a bit. So he kills all those Death Eaters. Again, like every time we 7 quid, it's like to spawn Hermione closer to the door. It always takes forever to get there.
Yeah, that's not even the worst level though. There's like escort missions. Yeah, first he has this room though, which is actually quite a difficult one. Like they spawn all over the place kind of, so...
Yeah, you really have to remember the spawns for this one.
Yeah, really gotta make sure they don't just run off somewhere and hide. Looking good though, I think so far he's gotten them all. Yeah, that worked quite well.
Here we got the save and quit that we talked about. This one doesn't save that much, but still a nice time save.
Yeah, when you can move Hermione a bit faster, I guess you do it.
Yeah. Yeah, another one of those sections where we're gonna have to wait for Hermione and Defender, but again, it's because it's timer based, then we don't really have to play super good, just have to play good enough.
Yeah, this is one of the segments where you actually have so much time.
Yeah, she takes so long to open the door.
Yep. I guess it's mostly because she takes a while to run up there first, so like you're done beating half of them when she even reaches it.
Just too fast.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, those segments, the game dev probably didn't think you would beat it that fast. Like, actually,
Yeah.
that's why the door takes that long. We totally cannot climb over or something. That would be impossible.
We can't apparate. We can't go over it. And impossible. We just have to wait.
There we go. The very final segment of this, and then we actually head into the first boss fight, which is an interesting one.
Yeah, we don't actually have to kill all of them here. We just have to kill enough Death Eaters to trigger the last sequence. I don't actually know how many you need. But...
Yeah, me neither. It's usually not too bad because again, Impedimenta targets all of them.
Yeah.
And it's like a one hit. In the early stages, it's like super OP hover spell.
Yeah, after we get like roughly halfway through the game, it's essentially gonna be just like an any person run, since in any person we unlock all the spells in apparition like roughly halfway through the run. So the only difference at that point is gonna be that we can skip cutscenes, which is very good.
Yeah, makes it a lot faster. Alright, so we have the Carrows, which actually have a cool mechanic to them. And you wanna beat them pretty much at the same time. They both have their own separate health bar, so to speak, even though we don't see it. And they have their cutscenes if like one of them dies and the other one is still alive for too long. Then there's like an extra cutscene that plays. So we'll hopefully see them defeat those at the same time, roughly.
As soon as we kill one of them, there's a timer that starts before the cutscene appears. It looks good. That was perfect.
Pretty sync.
Very well done. Yeah, this second boss fight now, we're fighting Snape, and there's actually a sort of cutscene skip. There are some quick time events in this game, and some of them we won't be able to skip them. But this one, if we literally just walk backward for a bit, normally Snape throws benches at us, but if we just walk backward a bit, he just never does for some reason.
Yeah. That was really good damage as well.
Yeah, that was really good.
Very quick Snape. Oh, actually.
Very solid.
Yeah.
Oh, stayed up there.
Yeah, I was surprised too. I thought it would be like a 2-cycle up there, but still very, very good damage on Snape. Essentially melted his health bar away.
Yeah, that level is horrible in 100% because there are 2 collectibles that we need to get, and we can't sprint as McGonagall. We can only walk, and they're both across, or like one is across the other side of the room, and the Snape just throws random benches at you. It's really fun.
Speaking of bad level and not being able to sprint, this one is the dark level. It's like literally a dark maze. So there's a couple of spiders, but that's about it. And apart from that, you're just guiding Ron through it, and he takes forever to open doors.
Yeah, it's really not a fun level in the speedrun, because it's pretty much just walking. There's really not that much going on.
It's also like 7 minutes. So,
yeah, it's one of the longest level in the run. You don't have sprint, and you have to wait for Ron. It's a great combination.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why they added this. There's also a soft lock that can happen in this segment, which is also very fun. But at least it's not run ending, you can like reload.
Yeah, we don't exactly know what happens, but there's one door where what we think is a spider tries to get through as the door closes, and the door just doesn't close. And for some reason, it makes Ron get stuck, and you just cannot progress. A lot of fun.
Yeah, for some reason he's in duty of opening the doors now. It's not Hermione anymore.
Doesn't have the choice.
And here it's the same thing. There's gonna be waves of spiders. We pretty much know where they spawn, so
Yeah.
it's really not a hard level. It is.
no.
It takes a while to get used to the maze, I guess.
Yeah, you just have to learn the path and also where the spiders spawn, but it's really easy. Because again, all those sections where you have to wait for someone to open the door, it's on the timer, and the timer is really forgiving. It's never tight or anything. As long as you make it quickly enough, it's really easy.
You still even in this level, that's pretty much one big auto scroller. You sometimes lose or save time, and I have no clue how.
Yeah, I think it's for, like Ron sometimes just decides to do some slow walk. I have no idea what happens.
Yeah, it
In any
sounds like
person, yeah, in any person you can actually lose a good chunk of time because there are a few cutscenes near the end of the level, and again, cutscenes are RNG in this game for some reason. But In New Game Plus, I really don't know where you save time on this. On the walking, I guess.
Yeah, I guess cutting corners, taking good
Yeah.
paths. The classic stuff. I believe that's the doorway one gets. No, that's not the one you can get soft lock on. That's later.
That's the
actually.
next one, yeah.
Yeah.
Right after this.
Yeah, we're actually so far ahead of Ron at this point, but it's still important to get rid of the spiders. If you leave them alone, they actually attack him, and he takes like 3 hits or so, and he's dead. Or 4, I
Yeah.
guess.
He also cannot, I think when the spiders attack him, he just doesn't move, he stands still.
He's like
great.
completely defenseless.
Yeah. We also really want to get ahead of him, because if we're too close from him, he's just gonna switch from running to just walking. But if we're far from him, then he starts running. Now another... there's gonna be 2 more sections after this one, where we have to defend him. And then we get inside the... we're gonna go get the Basilisk Fang. And then the level is gonna be pretty much over.
Just like in the movie.
Exactly.
Is this even in the movie? Oh, it is, right? Yeah, I think it is.
The killing spiders, I don't think so. but
No, not the killing part. Like, getting the thing, I believe. They do.
yeah. Yeah, now after this level, it's gonna start to get a bit more intense and interesting. We're actually gonna see a few cuts and skip strats.
Yeah, let's hope Garrity gets them, but this level is really just not good. It's
Yeah,
awful.
it's the worst in the speedrun.
Sadly,
This is the
falling
door.
apart.
This is the door where you can soft lock. I don't have audio, so I can't hear if the gate. You can actually the soft lock used to be way worse. I assume we didn't get it there, but we didn't really know what caused. We still don't really know what causes the soft lock, but we know that if the gate doesn't close, it's an instant soft lock. It's a lot better than it used to be, because before we didn't know at all, and we just looked at Ron, and if Ron got stuck, which takes about 40 seconds, then we had to reload the save. It's not as bad of a time loss, but still a bit annoying.
There's actually a couple of like random soft locks in this game that nobody can
Yeah.
explain. Like there's a lot of stuff you have to deal with when you actually like grind this game.
It's just a very well-made game.
You can tell EA put a lot of care into it.
Yeah, that level is just not fun. It's also so dark, and like you can increase the brightness, but like it's only for this level that it's really bad. And for some reason, putting low graphics makes this level a lot brighter, and you can actually see everything that's going on. But first, low graphics looks really bad, and second, it actually makes your load times a lot longer.
Yeah, it's a funny thing about both of the 7.1 as well. Like if you play it on lower graphics, the loads are longer. I don't think we fully know why that's the case, but it's probably like rendering it in high graphics anyways, and then like scales it down or some dumb stuff like that. So they showed it that well.
Yeah, even if you have a bad PC, you want to play in high graphics, because you're just gonna lose so much time.
Literally still easier to run for your PC than low graphic.
Yeah. Alright. Pretty much done now. We're getting to the last room of chamber.
This room is actually kind of cool. Like it looks
Yeah, it looks good. They put a lot more effort into that game than Senpai 1. Senpai 1 really does feel like a prototype for this game. Senpai 1 is not a good game at all. This game actually looks pretty good.
good. This game's actually playable, I'd say, even casually.
It's playable.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have some of those sections where we have to like run away like this. We're gonna get one more with Neville and another one with Harry, but I believe there's 3 total on the
I think you're correct, yeah.
But,
Actually, that's 4.
Oh, there's room of requirement. Oh yeah. But yeah, there's not really any time save here. It's really just you run.
And they're very cinematic. They're pretty cool as well, I guess. You can get the game, right?
Yeah, it looks good.
And there we go. That's finally out of the chamber. Now we get to see some gameplay again as Seamus. Another thing this game likes to do, it likes to put us into a lot of different characters you might remember from the books and movies.
This level actually has a couple nice strats that we can do.
First one being right here. You're supposed to wait a lot longer than this, but there's like an audio cue. I'm not sure what it is in Spanish, but in English it's literally like when Neville says run, then you can go through and they won't, like the enemy snipers pretty much, they won't kill you.
Yeah, if you try to walk through that path, you just get instantly shot and you're dead.
Yeah, you're not supposed to make it that early essentially, but there's like a small window, it's not even that small, but there's like a window where you can make it through.
Imgerdii is gonna try to skip a spawn of enemies. If you kill those Death Eaters, there's like 3 here I think, far enough, there's another group of Death Eaters that are supposed to spawn. Oh, you missed one of them.
Oh,
well, yeah, it was too close, yeah. If you're far enough when you kill the last few, these guys just don't spawn.
Yeah,
Not a big time loss, but yeah.
A couple of seconds that you do need if you want to go for like top times, but
yeah.
doesn't matter too much right now.
And the next charge, because this is what we have to do in this level, essentially plant all the charges to blow up the bridge. And this one has a strat that I believe is easier in New Game Plus. Because you can only plant the charges when enemies are not around. And here you have just enough time to like plant the charge while enemies are not spawned in. Unfortunately, you already failed it.
Yeah, I'm not sure
really
how.
hard.
It seemed like there was no one around, and you should have been able to plant it, but it's this game. You're never sure.
Yeah. Again, it's another like timer thingy where once you get rid of all the Death Eaters that are around, the game waits a couple seconds before it actually lets you plant the charge. And you have just enough time with that weird strat, but it's really inconsistent.
Yeah, unfortunately. And now it's back to just defeating normal people without any strats. That's the best part of the run.
Just a lot of pew pew, we love it.
Yeah, you just spawn camp everyone. And they do have some cool ragdolls. I guess that's a thing EA can actually do quite well.
Yeah, it's actually something the Death Eaters with the wearing a cloak, they actually take 2 hits, or they take longer to die. Like usually 1 Petrificus, if you use that on Snatchers, they die instantly. But the Death Eaters with the cloak, they take 2 more hits. They're slightly stronger, and they're also way more. They also use Protego way more. When you use Impedimenta, sometimes you just get trolled because they just use a Protego and just completely miss your shot.
Later on, they even have like Death Eaters with like breastplates, like a knight, because we all know that protects you from magic. That's just how it works, clearly. And I believe they have even more health. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's just the same.
Probably possible, yeah.
Actually, they're in this mission already. Actually, towards the end.
Oh yeah, true.
So we'll
can control Neville.
Get to see the final enemy type, I guess. It's not like there's many. There's spiders and there's all kinds of Death Eaters with like different health.
And we have trolls as well in the next level.
In one of the level, yeah. This one's actually a bit of a tricky one. Always like 2 people spawning down there, so you can't always fully focus on the path ahead. Otherwise, they just run off somewhere, and it's super annoying.
Yeah, you have to make sure you kill them instantly. Otherwise, they just go behind you and know where you are.
His health is not okay. It's getting back.
Very close from there.
We good. To get damaged in, but I think he just missed the Impedimenta on that one.
Yeah. We good.
Yeah, that was very close though. I mean, you saw how gray the screen got. That's not a good sign in this game.
It usually doesn't get that close.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is another. I think this one is New Game Plus only, but you can get an early charge here, like plant it instantly. But it's really hard without Impedimenta.
Have
I
to
think he
defeat all of
barely
them at the
missed
same
it.
time again. All of those combined can save like so much time if you get all of them, but they're all just so inconsistent that is hard.
Yeah, this last one I don't think is doable in 80%, but it's
Yeah.
also really hard in New Game Plus. Oh well.
Ha estado bien, sin problema.
Now the second part of this level, we play as Neville and essentially just defend Seamus, and this level, it's still horrible in New Game Plus, but in any person it's even worse because we don't have Impedimenta, which locks every single enemy, so we just have to use Confringo and Petrifcus. And yeah, because we're so far away, it's so hard to like actually aim on and lock on them. And if you're trying to aim on a Death Eater that's already walking, most likely your spell is gonna miss. So it's probably like the hardest level of the run to do perfect.
Yeah, there's a pretty strong auto aim in this game that like just snaps onto the Death Eaters like close out. I think it's even like on the hard difficulty you still have it. We play the game easy. Actually, we didn't mention that, but pretty self-explanatory why to take less damage and so they have less health.
Yeah, some of the strats we do would actually not be possible in like the hardest mode. I think is Expert, and well, it's also slower because it gives you additional cutscenes in a few spots, I think. But yeah, some of the strats where we just run and try to dodge Death Eaters, it's literally impossible on Expert.
The auto aim can be like annoying as hell, but it's also quite helpful for the most part, especially for this level. Just don't have to aim that precisely, the game kinda does it for you.
Sometimes it makes zero sense. You're aiming on the Death Eater, you kill him, and the auto aim instantly snaps onto another Death Eater. It's like, it's for no reason. Usually it works fine. Most of the time.
Most of the time. Those missions, or the Neville mission is actually one of like the hardest ones in the run, I'd say.
Yeah.
Always gotta make sure to cast the spells on the correct people, make sure they don't Protego, or you have to break their shield, like that one for example, Protegoed, so didn't die from the Impedimenta. A lot to actually take care of.
Yeah. It's one thing about Impedimenta that's a bit annoying. It's a really OP spell, but if you lock all the enemies with Impedimenta and you release the spell and then they use Protego, you essentially lost an Impedimenta, and the spell actually takes a while to recharge. So yeah, that's the thing we do a lot in this game. We switch between spells, because unlike some power one doesn't do that, you can just cast as much as you want. But on this game, the spells actually have to recharge, so we do a lot of spell switching.
Yeah, they either have to recharge or they just get like super imprecise, like if you use them too much. Like a spray pattern, kind of.
Yeah, it's something you have to be really careful of. It's just, it's really hard to actually be good, because you have so many, you have a total of 6 spells in this game, and you can only change them with the numbers, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can now remap those keys, so you have to use those.
It's an EA game.
It would be too easy. So yeah, in some part when we actually don't switch spells too often, like we mostly just use Stupefy, but in this game we switch spells a crap ton. It's a lot of looking at your keyboard to make sure you press the correct key.
Controls in this game are kind of weird in general. Like the sprinting key is also the same key as taking cover, so I think Gerdii has done that again already in this run, like once or twice. But you see him sprint around and then randomly taking cover sometimes. Just happens every run at least once. And you cannot rebind that either. And I don't know who thought it's a good idea to sprint and taking cover on the same button, but you know.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's also weird because you can literally just like take cover on every possible wall that you can think of. Like even when you go out of bounds and you go on like near walls that you're not supposed to be like any close to, you can just hug on them.
It must just be the default setting in this game, I guess.
Yeah.
When they build one, it's automatically a cover.
a very good idea. We, as speedrunners, we like that a lot.
Yep, it's totally not annoying. Especially in like tighter corridors where there's a lot of like obstacles.
No,
Yeah, but we are done with the level segment. There is another one of those chase sequences coming up. Which I honestly don't fully understand because Skager is just kind of weak and you don't actually kill him fully, but he still falls down. I don't know.
yeah. We really just made that to slow him down, but we cannot kill him. Like, his health bar is never gonna go to 0. It's gonna be a bit more than like the middle, but it's really you walk until a certain point and you're done.
Yeah, pretty much. He just falls off eventually.
And we can really just cast as much as we want because it does not slow us down. It's the same speed as like just running and not casting. And we're done with like the longest level of the run.
And we have Giants, which is actually such a clutch level in the run. I'll let you explain that.
Yeah, that level actually, we found a lot of strats on it because we realized that we used to essentially just spam spells on him until we realized that there's a cooldown before he can get damaged. So the first strat found was doing Confringo and Petrificus, which lets you do some double hits, but I think it's actually imgerdii and Katashi who found that you can do triple hits if you do a well-timed Impedimenta, and you can also skip a cutscene. Because, not exactly a cutscene, but normally when the health of the giant is at 0, he stomps on the ground and then you cast an Impedimenta. And that small sequence where he stomps on the ground, you can skip it like entirely.
Those were really good giants as well. Like they took so much damage. Normally this fight takes so long if you don't get the double and triple hits in. They have iframes, but it's more like seconds. So
yeah. Essentially, you try to do a triple damage, then you wait, I think, about 5 seconds, and then you try to do it. But yeah, that was pretty solid.
And you can walk back to Hogwarts, protected by the knights. The part is just like waiting for the game to give you the quick time event. I mean, you shouldn't die, but apart from that, you can kind of do whatever.
Yeah, you don't even have to kill them because it's literally just waiting for the giant to spawn.
It's a cool time to acknowledge that this game actually looks kind of cool.
Yeah. A nice quick time event. We also really don't want to fail that because it spawns us back right after we kill the second giant.
Yeah, thankfully it's easy because they didn't code it in, so the buttons are different. It's like always 2 and 5 every single run.
2 and 5 too.
Yeah.
This next level, it's Room of Requirement. It's actually quite interesting. We have some dialogue skips. The first few, they're actually easier on New Game Plus. For some reason, this game is like about the same New Game Plus and 8% at this point in the run. Except this one level, for some reason, your spells are way stronger. Like here, doing 1 Impedimenta, and like it's enough damage for them to run away, whereas in 80% you have to do so much more damage. We don't know why it's like different just for this one level, but it's just how it works.
Yeah.
If
we don't defeat them quickly enough here, then they start talking about like random stuff, like the diadem, and that's at like 40 seconds or so.
It's super long, yeah. Here there's an important dialogue skip that's gonna matter for later. Hopefully imgerdii can get it. You got it?
Did get it. Didn't look like you did do much, but essentially if you run around that corner and you don't get hit, like you don't get stunned, then Ron gets stuck. So he's now not really following us anymore. He's not the smartest, it's fine.
Yeah, it's really weird. The game puts back, the game essentially puts back objects near the start to make sure we don't go back there, which I don't really know why they decided to do that, because you can't really do anything when you go back to the start. But essentially what we're doing is we go fast enough so that the game puts those objects and Ron doesn't have the time to go to essentially the next part of the level. So right now he's just stuck at the very beginning of the level. And some of those dialogues that we have in Room of Requirement, they include Ron talking. And because he's too far, then he cannot have his line in the dialogue, so the game is just confused and he skips the dialogue entirely.
Yeah, it's very good design. It's pretty much only coming in handy for the very final one, I believe, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, give anything else. Yeah, which is right after this fight. Again, like, the fights in this are so quick in New Game Plus, it's insane. They have, like, no health, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really weird because at this point it really is the same run as any person, but it's just this one level, it's coded differently. I don't really know why.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the like main time save from that small dialogue skip that we did. As soon as we get behind those objects, the loading screen is gonna start instantly, whereas if we don't get a dialogue skip, we get like an 8-second dialogue or something.
Yeah, you have to run up to the diadem and they talk about it, but yep, we don't have to do that. And another running away segment.
Let's go.
This one's really weird though, like you're supposed to cast at the debris behind you. Nice motion sickness percent. Man, but like sometimes even though you highlight like all of it, it doesn't hit.
Yeah.
It's weird, but usually
it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter too much. It's you only die in this if you like completely skip all of them and don't pass on a single one. But yeah, it's really hard to get all of them. Like you can actually save a tiny bit of time in that section by cutting the corners a little bit, like the other ones where it was literally just running out. But it's super minimal. Really not that much going on. It looks good.
Yeah, probably not my favorite though. My favorite is the very final one. The very final stage is awesome. There's also great trash talk between Harry and Voldemort in it, so looking forward to hear that in Spanish. There we go. Room of Requirements done.
There's a frame perfect apparition here. I don't think Gertie got it now. Yeah, it's a bit weird. We're gonna have another one later on, but you can apparate on the first frame after the loading screen is over sometimes. But it's frame perfect, so it's a bit tough.
There's a lot of mashing, and sometimes you get it.
And this is one of the scary level. This is another one of those escort missions, but instead of just killing everyone, what we can do is run to the next save point that's near the door and do a save and quit, and it spawns Hermione and Ron. But it's super risky because there are so many like snipers in the area like those, and they could just kill you instantly.
Yeah, he actually clears them. I don't know if he does that in normal runs as well, or if it's marathon strats, but makes it a lot less stressful to get there if they don't keep on shooting into your back. That made it quite safe.
Yeah, we're gonna do another one right after this. I believe it's gonna be the last one in the run.
I think so too.
Definitely not as stressful. This is the really stressful one in 8% because we basically just run and ignore all Death Eaters.
Yeah, getting past that is always nice. It's a good feeling without a death.
Yeah, definitely.
Like there's still sections you can die on later on, but that's the main one. And now it's just waiting for them, looking at this beautiful wall for no reason at all.
It's a really good looking wall.
It's a nice wall. No, not anymore.
Oh no, destroyed it.
How unexpected.
Oh well, I guess we'll just take the door. There's actually a really weird glitch that we've seen a couple times, but like this door can sometimes just open randomly, and Hermione is just like standing in front of it, still trying to open it. And like it doesn't help you or anything, because like you need those Death Eaters to spawn to start the like next sequence where you can do a save and quit. But yeah, it's weird.
It's actually really bad, I think, because I think you have to reload like after that. It's kind of soft locking.
The door just opens for no reason.
Yeah.
Here we have to kill all the Death Eaters on the ground, where we can get to that save, and then we save and quit.
The very final one to get Hermione closer again so she can start working on that door quickly.
And we good.
Yeah, then it's just... this one is like a weird wait, because it's not even a lot of Death Eaters you're waiting for, and they spawn in like so slowly.
Yeah, this one is really just... Yeah, it's not even hard, because now we have Impedimenta, which just locks onto everyone, so just wait for them to spawn and just cast on them.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. There's the first one. There's 2 more. I feel like those also just rarely Protego as well.
Yeah, I know. I think if you do them as soon as they spawn, they just cannot do anything. Don't have time to react.
Yeah, makes sense. And then there's gonna be one that's always late for the party. And after that we can go to the staircase, which is actually a somewhat stressful area.
Yeah, it can be. This is where we're gonna make great use of the apparition, because we can cut corners a lot rather than having to walk all the way down the stairs.
Yeah, there's some pretty spectacular apparitions in that level.
Yeah. Yeah, the first one here, where normally you cannot get out of Ron and Hermione, but with an apparition like this, then just do that.
Because they're slow, we don't want to wait for them. Oh yeah, Gertie does a save and quit here, which only saves time loadless actually.
Yeah. Yeah, we use a loadless timer for this game, and this saved 1 single second if you play loadless.
A side effect with those apparitions, you see him going down the stairs like that.
Oh yeah, the slow-mo.
Yeah, the slow-mo. Like, a lot of people just go on one side, so they don't have to cross through the middle, but this also works.
Yeah. This
At
is
least way you can't
slightly...
operate up again.
Yeah, this is slightly slower than going all the way down the stairs, because you get that slow-mo with the apparition. I think it's the only place that has that slow-mo, it's really weird.
It's really epic, apparating through that, I guess.
But yeah, the other way is a little bit faster, but the apparition can screw you over essentially. Now we're on to the RNG boss fight. It's Fenrir.
That's where they start. There's like more later on. Yeah, I don't even know how to describe this fight. It's very weird. He keeps on regenerating his health every now and then, just seemingly random. I don't know.
Yeah, this fight used to be a lot easier, because using Confringo or blowing up a torch that's next to him just knocks him down instantly. And it makes it so much easier to get damage on him. But the problem is that it also makes the fight slower, because essentially you do enough damage to Fenrir and he regenerates, but he's not gonna regenerate if he's on the ground. So the fastest strat is to literally just cast on him as much as possible and not knock him down. But it also makes it a lot more RNG because Fenrir can just upgrade. That was really fast.
Really nice Fenrir. Pretty much. Yeah, that was really good. And then even like the animation was fast. Like sometimes he's laying on the ground for that long until Hermione's cutscene triggers. That was like instant.
Another frame perfect apparition here. I don't know if you got it. No, you didn't get it.
But even if not, you can still apparate, and this is also a cool one. Just all the way down there.
Yeah, some of the apparition, it really makes no sense how they work. Like you can just apparate so far on that one. It should not be possible.
I'm not sure how they code it though, it's weird.
It's really strange.
But it's very, like, it's probably the most useful ability on the staircase down here. Otherwise we'd have to deal with so many annoying Death Eaters.
Gertie's actually out of PB right now.
Yeah, I saw that too. After that Greyback.
Yeah, that Greyback was insane.
Marathon PB? Question mark? Be nice.
Let's go. Yeah, another one of those sections where we just try to run and not die, because we don't actually have to kill them. It's actually really slow if you kill those guys, because you get a weird slow-mo again. With like it's just like zooming on their face and just dying.
Yeah,
it's so slow.
Very weird. Like, I don't know, it's only this one level and this one part of the level. Oh, he's taking quite a bit of damage though.
I think he's fair enough.
Nice
it should be
backup.
fine. Yeah, a little time lost due to missed the apparition. You can apparate in the cutscene. Missed it unfortunately.
I like that save though. Like that was a dangerous spot. There were a lot of
Yeah.
shots in Harry's back.
Yeah, the Protego was a good thing to do.
It's also a very weird level if people remember the movie or the books, because Harry is supposed to sacrifice himself to Voldemort, and for some reason they stop you at the first half of the level, and then now they've realized, oh hey, he wants to sacrifice himself, and they just don't do anything anymore.
Let's
so-
not kill him, actually.
Yeah, we reconsider. I don't know.
Yeah, it's also a small use of apparitions here. It's just faster than regular walking. Just gains a little bit of distance. And this amazing level, Forest, it's literally just walking. It was first Complex Beaver who found that walking sideways was faster for this. Because we're gonna overtake all the ghosts, and you're not supposed to actually do that. Normally you just stay behind them the entire time. But yeah, Complex Beaver found that sideways walking was faster, which was really annoying because you couldn't see anything. And
Yeah, it's a
then
nice
we,
theme.
yeah, and then we found later that like diagonal walk is like saves an extra few seconds. It makes you go even faster, which makes this level a little easier to actually know where you're going. But,
Yeah.
¿Veros a alguien más?
At least you can
Yeah.
look at the horrible ghost animations that they have.
Yeah, it's really weird too, because yeah, you're not supposed to overtake this ghost, and they also have collisions, so you have to make sure you don't run inside of them, because they just block you. You know,
Lupin.
ghosts have collision, it's a known thing.
Lupin is just the best. It's great.
Pero tanto.
Top tier animation. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a super emotional scene as well, where he talks to like all the people that died, but we just look at the ground and just walk. And takes a bit out of the
faster.
scene.
Nunca os olvidaré.
It's not as bad as the sideways walking. The sideways walking was the worst. You just could
Yeah.
not see anything.
Yeah, that's true.
It also has this really weird animation when you all hold upright. I don't know. Just like gets stopped midway through.
Yeah, it doesn't look smooth the way he
Yeah,
walks.
no.
Doesn't look quite intended.
Now we're pretty much at the end of the level. It's a very intense level. We did a lot.
It's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But now we have the final, pretty much, of this game. There's just a good chunk of boss fights left.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's like 3 big RNG boss fights. This is the second one, and they actually like get worse and worse. Like Fenrir is kind of bad. This one is also pretty bad. For this, Voldemort has 3 different animations. He has one where he does Protego, or like, not really Protego, but he essentially protects himself, and you can't do any damage. Another one where he's attacking you, and you do a little bit of damage, but not too much. And the last one where he just stands on you and looks at you. And for some reason, that one just takes full damage, but it's completely random which one he does.
Yeah. So you ideally you want the one where he just instantly apparates away. Like he appears, you hit him, he apparates away.
It's going pretty well.
Yeah, it's pretty decent damage. Might help the PB hopes. But every time we say that, like it gets worse. See, like now he's protecting.
Yeah,
It's always like that.
he's 1 hit left.
Oh, that's annoying. There he goes.
Not too bad.
Yeah, could have gone a lot worse.
Final
have
mining
that
section, the best one.
No puedes destruir el
Just
espíritu
very
de
satisfying,
Hogwarts.
like destroying Hogwarts while running away from Voldemort. Essentially, you have to cast on like the blinking objects, otherwise he catches up to you and like kills you, I guess. It's pretty easy every time. Like you just every once in a while you destroy one of those, or you just destroy them the entire time for fun.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter if you cast on them, like, your speed does not change at all.
Yeah, that's fun.
Just do whatever you want.
Satisfying audio design, those big things especially.
And the trash talk in the background is amazing.
Todo lo que hace
That is not the entire Voldemort fight though, there's like a final level at the very end.
Yeah, we're gonna fight him on the bridges and then one extra spot. But yeah, the last two Voldemort fights are not as RNG heavy. Like the one before is so much RNG, it's ridiculous.
Yep.
And now to the best part of this level, where we just run as Ron, and Ron cannot apparate. The only thing he can do is run and cast spells.
I'm not sure if he can run looking at it.
Yeah, no, it's looking like a weird way to run.
Yeah, I don't know, it's a weird animation. It's also the only time you ever play Ron in this game, and it's literally just that. You run down a staircase, you run up a staircase. That's his entire appearance.
It's also where you usually curse at the taking cover plus sprint button, because you have to cut so many corners here, because you go up the stairs so much. It's just so easy to just take cover on accident.
He did that quite well though, actually. I don't think he got... Okay, never mind, I said nothing.
Yeah, those two Death Eaters are really annoying. There's only two that spawn in our way that we have to get rid of. Otherwise they just annoy us. But,
Yeah.
well. This next level is actually really hard to do perfect. It's Genie and it's essentially remembering the spawns, but they just spawn everywhere, and the Snatchers just love to hide and just take cover, and if they do that, it's like pretty much impossible to cast on them. It's a lot of remembering. Yeah, it's a really hard level to do perfect.
Especially like at the end of the run when you just kinda want it to be over.
Yeah.
And then you have 4 minutes of shooting spells as Genie.
Yeah, this just takes so long. Like casually, a casual probably takes like 6-7 minutes to do that, and it really does feel like forever. It just doesn't end.
Yeah, it's just the final attack, I guess, the final siege on Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Defended by 3 students. So, Death Eater's definitely competent.
And these guys with you, they're supposed to help you, but the only thing they do is get attacked and sometimes run in front of you so that you can't cast spells. It's just amazing.
Yeah, friendly fires off in this game, so whenever some friendlies are in your crosshair, they just don't allow you to cast spells.
Good feature.
Also the level with the most creatively hidden collectibles, just 4 out in the open, 1 in each corner.
It's so hard to see them. I can see like 2 of them in the cutscene here already.
Yep. Very good collectible.
Yeah, this is the second phase. It's probably the hardest one because they spawn really awkward spots and they just hide.
Also the longest one by far.
And it's really weird because, so the Snatchers, they're not going to use Protego if you use Impediment on them, but they will take cover as soon as they can. And the Death Eaters with the Cloak, they will pretty much never take cover, but they will use Protego if you use Impediment on, so both really annoying.
Yeah. They have their ways to lose us time.
Exactly. Yeah, thankfully, the snipers will just, like, use Petrificus on you. They don't move at all. They're really simple to kill.
Yeah, it's also surprisingly hard to die in this level, even though there's just 1,000 enemies. For some reason, you just barely take any damage. This Genie is OP.
Genie is just too good.
Yep. And now we have the final part. Still has a lot of Death Eaters spawn. A lot of snipers as well.
Yeah, we're almost done. Only like a minute and a half left of this.
Yeah, and Gary is still on PB phase, quite a big one at this point, like 27 seconds. The only issue is, as you said earlier, there's a lot of RNG left, so
Yeah.
you can definitely lose that in Bellatrix if you get unlucky.
The next level we're gonna go through is the biggest RNG boss fight we have. Probably the biggest RNG point we have in the entire run. Bellatrix she can apparate as much as she wants and wherever she wants, so sometimes she just does an apparition from one side of the room to the other. And she can also give you random cutscenes where she just like, I don't know, mocks at you, just laughs at you. And it looks like 3 seconds each time, so it's definitely the worst part of the run.
Yeah, she's so like annoyingly over the top with the animations as well. It's just I don't know. Like this game has pretty decent cutscenes for the most part, but Bellatrix is just very weirdly portrayed. Okay, and there we go.
We're done, yeah. You get the checkpoint. There are a lot of Death Eaters that spawn, but for some reason we only need to kill one and it's just done. They just go away.
Without sending a message, I guess. The rest just leaves.
They just saw the disaster Genie did and they're like, nope, don't want that.
I mean, she did defeat like, I don't know how many, probably 100 before, so kind of makes sense.
¡Ahí vienen! ¡Volved todos adentro!
There we go. Actually, it was not that good of a Genie. As a small update on the PB pace, he's still 7 seconds ahead, but let's see what the RNG has to say about it.
Yeah, he lost about 20 seconds on that Genie. It's really hard to do that level perfectly. Maybe he gets good RNG.
Let's hope for
We'll
not
see.
that many long-range apparitions and cutscenes.
Alright, starting okay so far.
Yep.
Oh, got one cutscene already. Yeah, that's some of those.
Quick one though, at least.
Yeah. You can do a little kiss, or if she can just like laugh at you and slay you longer.
On half health, she always goes into this spot and then regenerates. But this is also an interesting quick time event. We didn't know that for quite a while, but failing this is just so much faster and it doesn't kill you, even though it looks like it should. It's just a giant boulder, and you just want to get hit.
And it literally does no damage either. It doesn't matter at all.
Also, Molly Weasley can sprint, unlike Hermione in the Chamber of Secrets, which I always think is kind of weird. Like she goes zooming.
It's just so much more useful to sprint there. Oh, that is not lucky. If she doesn't apparate too much, shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, it's not the greatest of fights so far though, to not get good RNG.
And once she's had, once she's done, no health, she just goes to the back like this. It's gonna be a bit close.
No volverás a tocar a mis hijos.
Needs good bridges.
Still
It
have.
should be doable. He doesn't mess up bridges, and Gertie's got himself a nice PB.
Yeah, that would be cool. Marathon PB. I don't know. I don't think there's much about this fight really. It's just you shoot
We
stealth.
want to time this impediment out well, because it just destroys him completely and skips to the next phase.
Yeah.
The rest is really just casting.
Yeah. He takes enough damage. He just moves to the next stage.
Oh, I know.
Form.
A bit too low in that one. There's 2 more of them.
Yeah. The very, very final showdown, I guess, technically.
Okay. And the last one, it's faster to run towards him rather than just casting from him. We're just gonna run a little bit, and then he's gonna take full damage here.
And once he turns into the cloud, there we go, that's when he's done. We just get closer. We essentially beat him.
Oh god, it should be a PB for Gertie, but he's currently 0.3 ahead.
Gonna be a small one, but hey, we take those.
Well, unless he messes up this part, it should be good.
Yeah, not much to explain to this or about this. It's kind of, I don't know what to even say, but you have to keep the ball focused on Voldemort as much as you can. It gives you weird controls, so you have to counter steer most of the time.
So time is coming up after this next cutscene. There's gonna be one small cutscene that starts, and then the final cutscene starts, and it's gonna be time.
Should get this PB.
And time.
GG's. That
Nice.
was a very nice run in a marathon.
Just to state something, this is my second PB in a row, which ended by milliseconds. Last one was by like 0.3 or something, and this one is by 0.9. It's hilarious.
GG.
PB.
Congrats. Nice run. 7
Yeah.
minutes underestimate. Not bad.
Yeah, played
Very
pretty much
solid.
tight PB.
Yeah, that Fenrir went super well. That was insane.
I mean, some of best just going to do 59, 13, soon 58.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
watch through the amazing cutscene that plays at the end,
Yeah.
summarizing all HP games. Well, not all in existence, but a good chunk.
This is honestly the best one we have, like the best ending. We just
Yeah.
have lots of like cool scenes out of all the other games, or also scenes that didn't even make it in any of the games, which is also interesting.
Yeah, some are
But
just from
very-
trailers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool to see just little chill
Yeah,
back
yeah.
to what you technically all played.
Yeah, this shows pretty much all the console games except handhelds, the only ones that are missing.
Not relevant enough.
Yeah, that was Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, part 2.
New Game Plus.
Very decent run still, I have to say. Could have been
Yeah.
way worse.
But yeah, if anyone is interested, not necessarily just in this HP game, because it's not the preferred one, like especially
Yeah.
for casual. But we have a lot of different Discords, but the community are really like tied together. Like all the handheld communities, console communities, and PC communities, we all talk to each other a lot.
Wait, there's a handheld community?
The Discord is a bit dead, but we don't talk about that.
It's a whole
but
different
yeah,
topic.
Yeah, but yeah, if there's any HP game that you're interested in, we'll be very happy to help you learning it and guide you with resources and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Unless Gertie has anything to add.
No, not really. Thanks for having us, obviously.
Yep.
Very cool to be able to show off another Harry Potter game. Marathon. But yeah, nothing more to say really.
Well, thank you for being on here for us. It was a good run, and congrats on the PB.
Thanks.
That is going to actually be our last run for the night. We're going to be offline for a few hours. You can expect the next run to kick back up Sunday morning at approximately 5:20ish Eastern Standard Time, or Daylight Time still. We'll be starting off with the Resident Evil 2, the classic Leon A any percent run with Solid as Snake. Again, that's about 5:20 a.m. Eastern, 9:20ish UTC. So yeah, we're gonna have ourselves a little break until then. So thank you all for being here. We at Team Green Gaming appreciate you all hanging out, watching these runs, and donating. There's still one more day of runs to come. It'll run all the way through the last run tomorrow. Quacksilver will be our runner for Hollow Knight. For our last one, we'll be starting about 10:20ish Eastern, assuming the schedule holds true. But yeah, got one more day to go, so do not forget to show up tomorrow and watch the rest of the marathon. We'll be happy to have you here. But until then, take care, everyone. Good night, so long, or good morning, depending on your time zone. We'll hope to see you back here soon for the rest of it.